Welcome back. There is a live look outside from the Oregon coast. That is our In It Spanish Head Resort Hotel camera in Lincoln City. Thanks for watching Afternoon Live. Over 30% of adults over age 50 are single, and many of them are looking for love. So how do you find the right partner for you? Here with advice, we welcome the author of the new book, Loving the Whole Package, Shed the Shame and Live Life Out Loud, Junie Moon. Thank you so much for joining us today.
So good to be here. Thank you for having me.
So this can feel like kind of a tricky stage of life for I think some people to look for love. Do they overcomplicate it sometimes?
Yes, yes, yes. Well, starting over is a big deal. We've had a history of relationships and losses and betrayals and challenges. So there's a lot of stories about what's possible, what's not. And so yeah, people bring a lot of messaging between their ears around, is it even possible? So yeah, people do make it a little bit more difficult than it might need to be.
I imagine that self-love, self-acceptance being kind of a difficult first step to opening yourself up to find love from someone else in your life.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things I really stand for my clients is really knowing who they are and loving themselves at such a high level so that they're loving this stage of life, and then they're bringing their true essence forward into the dating world. So it does start with the most important relationship, which is the one with themselves when they're beginning again in love.
It's totally understandable why we have things like negative self-talk and those kinds of obstacles we're overcoming after a lifelong of messaging in that direction. What are some questions that women specifically ask you if they're thinking about getting back into the dating pool?
Well, the first thing they always ask me is, can you help me with my profile and help me online dating? Which is great. It's a great question. However, that's the last place I think people should go first. And that's why people start to burn out and think it's not working for them. I really think the first place is, are you ready for this next chapter of love? And that really starts with unpacking some of the baggage you've picked up along the way, the beliefs about love and the heartaches, because again, what we bring from the past will create the same thing over and over in the next relationship, and that's where it gets painful.
What are some ways you recommend that people can walk in with more of a positive mindset and hope that they can establish a new healthy relationship in the future?
Yeah. Well, the first thing I would say is take a moment after your last relationship. Take a breath, do some reflecting on what has happened. Where have you been? What have you learned? Because we've all learned so much when we're in our 50s and 60s and then some. And to really hone in on what's most important for you now, because that's your North Star. When you could really set that destination to, this is what's important to me, this is what I value, then you can start seeing who's out there with very different eyes. But if you come from the past, people tend to be very guarded because they don't want to do the same thing that they did in the past. They don't want to make the same mistakes. And so they're scared, and rightfully so, because they've had a lot of experiences. So take some time to date yourself, enjoy your life, and come to that next relationship to with a fuller heart, with a clearer sense of what is possible for you and what you really, really want.
Yeah, I like that you mentioned people asking about putting together that perfect dating profile because people think, I want to stand out, I want to be noticed, but there's some inner work that goes in before you get to that stage, like you mentioned, that can help you be more confident and then you exude that to other people, right?
Exactly, because the more comfortable you are, the more comfortable and confident you are, that has you shine. And when you go on that first date, people feel that energy. If you go into that date or even on that phone call in that fear, in that interrogating kind of mindset of, I better make sure that I've covered all the bases, energetically, that's going to affect that connection. So again, it comes back to loving yourself, enjoying yourself, and really knowing what it is that you desire at this stage of life.
What about a traditional celebration of love like Valentine's Day coming up? It can be challenging for people. Are there certain mindset shifts that you recommend to kind of celebrate the day in a different way if you just don't happen to have that romantic relationship right now?
Such a good question, because a lot of people dread this, and a lot of people see, oh my God, Valentine's Day, and it's here again, and I don't have someone. So it's a choice where our mind goes. We could choose to look at it as, I don't have somebody, I'm alone. again? Will it ever happen to me? And that's going to create a very icky kind of Valentine's Day. However, you could choose to have a magnificent solo Valentine's Day, and you could have the most amazing evening. Order in beautiful food that makes you happy. Or watch a great movie that brings you joy. And if you don't want to do it by yourself, I'm sure there are a couple of friends in your inner circle that are single too. So make a choice, make some plans, and celebrate your life, because whenever that next person comes, great. But in this moment, the most important relationship you have is the one with yourself. So celebrate you and celebrate love in the most magnificent way with yourself or with your friends.
Such great perspective. Thank you so much for joining us. It was so nice chatting with you.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Okay, Junie's book again is Loving the Whole Package. We'll have more information on our website at katu.com. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.